So Assassin's Creed Syndicate's been out for a couple weeks now, and I thought I'd share my thoughts and review of the game based off my experience. Having beaten the game, I feel I may be able to give you some insight if you're currently on the fence on if you actually want to get this game. Maybe you played Unity and Rogue and you're like, these games are garbage, Assassin's Creed has died for me, I don't want to play this series anymore. Or maybe you're thinking, I kind of want to get this game, I've seen some good things, seen some bad things. Maybe you're thinking of getting it for Christmas, maybe snagging that Black Friday deal? Hopefully by the end of this video, I can help you figure that out. Through this video, there will be some gameplay and footage. I try to avoid all spoilers to those who haven't played the game and those who are currently playing the game who might have stumbled upon this video. If there are any spoilers, I consider them very, very minor and wouldn't really consider them to ruin the game. So without any further delay, let's get into my thoughts about Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
I've never seen so many people all at once.
Churning seas of London. It's just the way Father described. Now, to find Henry Green and formulate a plan of attack against the Templars.
Who's Mr. Green again?
Assassin watching over London? Did you not listen the first 3 times?
Listen to what? Oi, watch it.
Beg pardon, sir.
Oi! Come back here, you filthy dipper!
Assassin's Creed Syndicate takes place during the British Industrial Revolution in 1868. London is in a booming period of advancement at this time, with new inventions being made daily. The streets of London kind of have this hustle and bustle to them that reminds me a lot of Constantinople in Assassin's Creed Revelations, as well as a bit of Unity, but that's most likely probably because the game came out a year ago and the settings and time periods are not that far off from each other. But with all of these advancements, there are those who do suffer. You got gangs all over ruling the streets. You got slums in parts of the city itself. And then you got, of course, the Templars holding the power. Now, what power do I speak of exactly? Well, honestly, I'm not quite that sure. And this kind of brings me to my first negative about the game, is that the story is a little weak in this aspect. The game never truly comes out and says this is why the Templars are bad, and what their whole grand scheme of the Templar Order is in this game until the very end. And even then, I was still kind of wondering, were they really that important to the story? Now, this may put some of you off, but don't let it. Hear me out. I'm comparing this story to the great storytelling that we had in the Ezio trilogy, which in my opinion is almost near impossible for Ubisoft to surpass. Ubisoft had said that they encountered a problem with having the setting being closer to the present day. They said there's people that are alive who are still great-grandchildren of the people that were probably some of the most famous people back then, and they didn't want to paint them in a negative light and offend them and bash their character, so they just made the Templars up. While I do enjoy some of the Templars, including the end goal enemy of the game, I feel like they're almost a little insignificant because the goals of the Templars overall are not laid out that well. Each Templar has kind of what seems like their own little subplot and little mini arc in the story. But this is kind of difficult to see in this game how they all weave together to make one big plan for the Templar Order. Now, once again, don't get me wrong. I did for the most part enjoy this story for the game, but it's just not the best that I've played in the whole series.
Where is Mr. Green's shop located? It was marked on Father's map.
2 assassins. Equal in height, 1 female, 1 male, 2 decades old, and those devilish smiles. You must be the Fry twins.
In Syndicate, you play as the 2 twins, Jacob and Evie Fry. Coming off of Arno, these two seem like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Both of them have a great charm and definitely have a sense of humor. First, we got Jacob. Jacob's got a get up and make a difference with your words and actions kind of mindset. He wants to kill the Templars and help the people in the city of London. Jacob likes to get in and get out by any means necessary in order to reach his goal. Evie, on the other hand, is a little more calculating with her actions. She's like Jacob about get in and get out quickly, but she wants to get in and out stealthily and cleanly. Her idea of the way to cripple the Templar influence is to chase down pieces of Eden that they may be holding and keep them away from them so they don't use them in the wrong ways. The twins do kind of tend to butt heads with each other, arguing over which method is the best to free London from the Templars, which at times makes sense seeing as how they both have different methods of doing so, but sometimes it felt kind of forced to me, and that the game really didn't need it, didn't need to make a big issue and an argument out of both of their methods. Personally, I love both of these characters, with Evie edging out Jacob slightly, but this is probably because me and Evie's interests kind of align more. I'm more interested in Pieces of Eden, and which lead more into the precursor race. But don't get me wrong, Jacob's also a pretty awesome character, and I found myself playing with him a lot more than I thought I would have. As I said earlier in the story portion of the review, there are some Templars who I do enjoy in this game, but to avoid spoilers, I won't really say their names, but I will just say it, leave it at this. The Templars' personalities in the later sequences of the game really do shine, and you get to see their character and their true nature as the Templars, as you would envision Templars: gritty, kind of crazy, a little bit evil. It's great stuff. So look out for that stuff in the later sequences of the game. But besides the Fry twins and the Templars, there are a pretty good handful of side characters you see, like, and I'm using really, really big air quotes, Master Assassin Henry Green, who kind of guides you through the story a little bit. He kind of has some other story stuff in that I'm really not a fan of, but I don't want to talk about it. Spoilers, all that good stuff. Just not a fan of him at all. And besides him, you also get to meet some of the most famous people throughout history that shaped kind of civilization to today in science and technology. Alexander Graham Bell and Charles Darwin, just to name a few. So we got a great supporting cast to go along with our superb, like Jacob and Evie, some of the best, in my opinion, protagonists we've had in this series so far, which is saying a lot because I hold Ezio, Altair, Edward really high in my regard of great characters in this series.
I've always thought of myself as a gang leader. Firm, but fair. Well, I have uniforms. And I'll unite a mix of disenfranchised outsiders under one name. That's it, Evie. We can rally them to our side.
Oh, like the way that you rallied those card players at the Oakbrook Tavern into the river.
Oh, that was different. They beat me at whist. I can see it now. We'll call ourselves the Rooks.
You were never good at chess either.
Have you got a better plan?
Find the Piece of Eden.
Oh.
Well, let me show you the lay of the land. Shall we?
I'll come right out and say it. The gameplay in this game is just straight up awesome. First, you got the combat, and it's perfect. Assassin's Creed's combat's been something that's been under scrutiny for a couple years because some feel it hasn't really changed that much. Maybe I don't remember Unity's combat system because I haven't touched that game in a while, but this game feels incredibly fluid. To me, it almost feels like a bit more polished Arkham game, which is really hard to do when you think about it. The combat is just super violent and visceral with the moves and the finishers, some of the most just nasty finishers I've seen in the Assassin's Creed series. Moving away from the combat, we're going to go to the free running. Free running system's pretty much the same as Unity's, but a little more polished. But where this game gets the leg up on Unity is definitely the addition of the rope launcher. Rope launcher brings back memories of Revelations with the hook blade, being able to cruise up and across the tallest buildings with ease, and shooting from building to building with the zip line. You can go up the tallest buildings in this game like no other. You're blazing up there instantly. The only negative I do have to say about the rope launcher is I feel like they could have used it like a weapon, sort of like some Scorpion Mortal Kombat stuff. Like, you know, they had the rope dart for Connor, so I feel like they could have used the rope launcher as a weapon, but maybe they didn't want to go full Mortal Kombat on that. There are some times where I feel the free running's a little rough. I'll run into a ledge or a rooftop and my character's like, I have no idea where to go, but overall, I'm pretty pleased with the free running. Another thing that I definitely feel needs to be touched on is the assassination missions themselves. Syndicate took the great thing that Unity had with its assassinations and took it another, maybe a little step further. The missions in this game were awesome for assassinations. The methods that you could do them in, you took some planning, you actually had to search for some certain things. Some of them were easy, some of them were challenging. Now, you could really see the positives of any way you decide to go. You want to go stealthy, you want the secret passage, you want to just go straight in and kind of ruin everything. I guess you could, but I don't see why you would. But the missions, the way they laid themselves out for the player, it was just smooth as silk, totally stellar assassination missions, and I wish the rest of the series would take this approach as well. I would like to touch on carriages and trains for a second. Carriages are straight up everywhere. You can't really go a corner or a turn or a street without seeing carriages. And not counting fast travel, they're easily the fastest way to get from point A to point B. They are a bit of clunky and hard to drive, but I mean, it's a horse and carriage. It's not some sort of like crazy sports car with pristine handling. Switching over to the trains, I am a little disappointed with the trains. They travel a lot slower than I thought they were going to, and that kind of disappointed me a lot when I can just jog up to a train and just catch up to it with ease. I haven't had a lot of combat on trains either, because really, I just didn't really find myself going on them that much. The last thing I wanted to talk about in the gameplay was switching between Jacob and Evie. They each share independent skill tree, but all the perks are the same for each other, just some have some special perks that the other cannot have. You can switch between Jacob and Evie in free roam, but not during missions. And you might be like, oh, that's kind of lame, but this is just because Ubisoft felt that some missions were more suited for Jacob while others were better suited for Evie, which when you play the story, once you get used to their characters, you can definitely see how this is. There is only one nitpick I have with this, and it's kind of minuscule, but hopefully they fix it maybe with a patch or something. But if you just want to switch from one character to another to maybe edit a skill tree, it kind of kicks you out of the pause menu twice and you got to go back into it. And it's just kind of tedious. But all in all, as I said, the gameplay is awesome, combat gruesome, free running awesome, carriages are cool, trains kind of meh, rope dart is stellar. Just awesome gameplay in general. One of the best I've experienced in the series so far. Last, I'm going to talk about the modern day. The modern day. Some people love it, some people hate it. I am on the side of a person who loves the modern day, and I consider it to be the actual story of the series. Because of this, I won't talk much about the modern day to avoid spoilers, just because I view it almost as important as the story within the Animus. The game's modern day is very similar to Unity's, which is saddening, but they do a far better job than Unity did. Each time you're taken out of the Animus, you're shown cutscenes, which most modern day fans would enjoy, getting to see old faces as well as some new faces that we're really hyped to see, and I really hope we get to see them in further series installments. The modern day further progresses the ongoing conflict between Abstergo/Templars and the Assassins, as well as some little nuggets about those who came before. There's also some really interesting audio files that got kind of the community currently in an uproar. Some love it. Kind of a lot of people hate it. I'm not really sure how I feel about it quite yet. I don't want to talk about it too much anymore. Just make sure you go look for everything that you can get, as well as some maybe secret stuff that you probably know of about now, but maybe you didn't. You might want to check, I don't know, maybe I believe it's the western part of the map. I could be wrong, but just kind of check around on the map for that. Overall, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is a great game that I thoroughly enjoyed playing. I told my friend that it was the first game I actually feel like getting 100% in since Brotherhood, which is a really long time for a fan like me that loves the series to actually want to go through that grind again. With awesome gameplay and some of my favorite Assassins to date, I do not at all regret buying this game day one at midnight and supporting the series. Hopefully throughout this video you're able to take my opinions and thoughts and align them with your own viewpoints of what you like with the Assassin's Creed universe. If I persuaded you to get the game, I truly do hope you enjoy the game and tell me what you are most looking forward to when you get it. On the other hand, if I said anything that made you stay away from buying the game, tell me why. I'm truly just curious. As always guys, it's been Teddy Creek. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you have an awesome day. I'm out. Peace.